We got one more person showing up. Special, this is going to be great.
Welcome back to Back and Bogies.
Oh, there it is. Cody with the hot mic. Here he is.
I was like, what the fuck?
There it is.
Get a whole lot out.
I feel like by the end of this show, I'm coming out of this because it's going to be hot and young.
Well, welcome back to the first episode of No Back Talk. Mo
Back Talk.
It's Mo Back Talk than there ever has been before today. Yeah. It is No Back Talk, the Back and Bogies podcast. We got something a little special for you guys. Something a little different we're going to be doing this season.
Season 2, baby. Season 2.
Starting off hot and bothered.
About to be.
Yeah. So we're doing something a little different. We sat down and we're going to do kind of like a 15-minute segment for each of us, and then we're also going to double back on something that we've already talked about in the previous podcast for our fourth and final segment for this podcast. So we're kind of, I don't want to say all over the board, but it's really sports related today. We're going to be doing a little bit of a debate. We each have a little bit of information. We'll each, bring forward the topic that we wanted to discuss, and then we'll kind of have a debate from there, kind of see which one of us are shitbags and wrong. Out.
I turned it off. Got the ringer off.
But yeah, I mean that's pretty much the gist of it for today. Thank you guys for tuning in, of course. I say, unless we have anything, y'all have anything, I say we jump right into it.
All right. Hey, I'm ready to roll. I got the gloves off.
All right. So I picked the first topic for today's discussion.
This has a lot to do with baseball's postseason going on right now, right?
Yes, and kind of a huge hit we took here recently, as far as like the baseball community.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
So I chose, me and Tyler had talked previously, and then we all sat down and talked. Wanted to do like something infielders, and then something happened, so I chose third base. Best third base, no time frame, just, best third baseman. So don't mind me while I look at my phone. They have it on pads. I have mine on my phone. But I went with Brooks Robinson, Mr. Oriole. Tyler already knew. I think I slipped up and told Tyler. So Mr. Oriole from way back when, they called him the vacuum. I mean, he was great. So I've got just a few things that are jotted down that I can just go over. I'm going to go over some, I guess we can call them stats. So he was an 18-time All-Star, the 1964 American League MVP award winner, and 2-time World Series champions for 1966 and 1970. He was also named the MVP of the Fall Classic in 70 and was inducted into the Hall of Fame in 83. So that was becoming the first third baseman to be elected in his first year of eligibility. So, that alone, that's huge. So his starting of his career was in 55. We're talking, so when we talk in relativity of if either of you are picking somebody of, a newer generation, we have to kind of look at, this is the stats from the 50s and 60s. Mm-hmm. Baseball was a completely different game then. Mm-hmm. So in 55, he actually signed with the Orioles for only $4,000. Let's just put that into retrospect.
$4,000 back
in
then.
55 was a lot of money.
Yeah.
But it's just crazy to think that you signed with a team like the Orioles. And I don't know. But then he ended up making his debut with the team later that year at 18 years old.
So I respect it. I disagree.
Of course.
I disagree. But I respect it. Going based on, if we're just talking about all-time greatest third baseman, it's got to be Mike Schmidt. It's got to be Mike Schmidt.
But that's because of his batting as well.
Not only because of his batting, but his awards by himself.
So how about this then? So his breakout year came in 60 when he became an All-Star for the first time, captured his first Gold Glove, and then was still an All-Star every single year through 1974. For 14 years, he was an All-Star every year and was a Golden Glover every single year through 75.
Miguel Cabrera was an All-Star last year. I mean, All-Stars versus MVPs, Gold Gloves.
Okay.
So
he also helped lead them to both of their World Series. He went 9 for 21 with 2 doubles, 2 homers, 5 runs scored, 6 RBIs in the first in their 5-game series versus the Reds. But he was named the American League's most valuable player in '64 after posting career highs with a .317 batting average, 28 home runs, and 118 RBIs. Now, I know those stats for today aren't shit, but 64 as a third base, I mean, I'm basing it off of the time. And
so defensively,
arguably one of the best.
if not the best.
Yeah.
Offensively, I don't think there's anybody better than Pete Rose. Offensively, when it comes to.
I don't disagree with you with that.
But if we're talking about all around, I got to give it to Schmidt. I mean, Schmidt was a 3-time MVP winner.
Mm-hmm.
He won it 3 times. He won it in. I thought I had my dates written down here. He played from 72 to 89. So he still falls into that early criteria like Brooks Robinson. Granted, it was in the 50s and 60s, but he started his career in the early 70s.
Well, by the 70s, that was so he ended his career. I want to let me not go ahead.
Okay, so bad part on mine. I don't know how many World Series he won. I just know he's a 10-time Gold Glove winner.
Okay.
So defensively, he's there. He's stout. 3-time MVP, 6-time Silver Slugger. Like, who you got, Cody?
He's probably not the best, but it's one of my personal favorites. Is Chipper Jones.
Okay.
Chipper Jones. He's
I mean, he was part of that.
It's respectable.
Hall of Famer.
He was put on that. He was on that '90s dynasty. So
Yeah. He got top 10 MVP votes 5 times, and he's like 303 RBIs, 1 of 14 in history at top. That's what I saw on the internet. Granted,
303 RBIs.
I don't know. I saw baseball's not my thing. That's not my thing. I'll admit it straight up.
Yeah.
I don't know much about baseball. I played baseball for.
I know he's got the most home runs as a switch hitter.
Right. I did not. I saw that, but I didn't. I forgot to write it down.
He has the most home runs hit by a switch hitter.
He's not necessarily. He might not be the greatest, but personally, I like.
I'll put it this way: he's the most well-known third baseman, other than probably Alex Rodriguez.
That's fair, because if you ask any, I don't want to say this, because
he has such a unique name.
And if you go up to most baseball fans and say, "Hey, do you know who Brooks Robinson is?" Let's be honest, a lot of people aren't going to know who he is.
Outside of Baltimore, other than
Orioles,
baseball,
like hardcore Orioles fans,
or baseball enthusiasts,
yeah,
nobody knows who Brooks Robinson is.
But that's why
you say Mr. Oriole, but really Cal Ripken's Mr. Oriole. Not necessarily. Brooks Robinson has the nickname Mr. Oriole,
yes,
but you think of the Orioles as Cal Ripken.
That I get that. I get that. But I mean, I had to go with him. Like I said,
when you think of the Philadelphia Phillies, who do you think of?
Why are you going to put me on the spot like that?
It's Mike Schmidt.
Well,
it's Schmitty.
But all right.
Okay, you could put Chase Utley up there. You could put Ryan Howard up there. But
I'll give it to you. I mean, I will give it to you 100%. But we're talking at the end of his career is when, I mean, baseball was still steady changing.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why I think time-wise, you even said it yourself, defensively, he's arguably the best third baseman.
Mm-hmm. No
without
doubt.
a doubt.
No doubt.
So where his batting lacked, I think his defensive play style and the plays that he made that led them to 2 World Series.
And this is no disrespect to both y'all's picks.
No.
When I think of the greatest, you have to think of offensively and defensively, and there's nobody that's played third base better, both defensive side of the ball and offensive side of the ball, than Mike Schmidt. The stats just show it.
Well, fuck you.
That's fair. That's fair.
I can't argue with that.
He's got the team record for the Phillies. Phillies have been around for a long time. I don't know the exact date because I'm not a Phillies fan.
Yeah.
But just from the research I've shown, in total bases, 4,404 total bases in his career. That's insane. Home runs, there's 5. He's in the. He rounded the bases 1,000 times in his career. Like 548 home runs. He had 1,595 RBIs in his career. And then he has the team record for walks as well as strikeouts. I don't have those numbers, but he also has the team record in both of those, walks and strikeouts.
See, I wish I would have pulled stats
My
for...
RBIs are way off then. If that's like top 14.
Way off.
Yeah, okay. I don't know what I was reading, so I got something mixed up there.
See, I wish I would have broke down, like, statistically like you did. I didn't put... I went into just, like...
2,234 hits.
Now, could 303 be in a single season?
There's no way.
No.
The record's
You're
like 200.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
I was just checking.
If somebody has 300 RBIs, it's insane. I'll give y'all both respect. Chipper Jones.
Maybe not so much.
No. Chipper Jones is my favorite all-time third baseman. He is my favorite. I don't think he's the best. He's just my favorite because I grew up a Braves fan. So,
yeah.
I mean, obviously, with us being brothers, you know that I grew up a Braves fan. You know, it wasn't until I got a little bit older, we moved up here to Camden the first time, that I started pulling for David Wright.
Mm-hmm.
Met David Wright,
Yeah.
got an autograph from David Wright, so then I became a huge David Wright fan.
Mm-hmm.
Was a huge David Wright guy. Still have a soft spot for Chipper, but as I've gotten older and I've started to really enjoy baseball, I start to respect the people that laid the grounds of baseball. So, like, somebody like a Brooks Robinson, somebody that likes a Pete Rose.
So, what I liked about Robinson, too, just to throw out there, and this isn't anything I have wrote down, and my timeline's probably going to be way off, but the last time he played, he ended up coming in as a substitution. He only made like 71 appearances or something like that over the span of a time, but he ended up coming back as he was a player's coach.
Mm-hmm.
So he ended up coaching as well.
Mm-hmm.
So that was something that I kind of took into perspective of, not only was he the best defensively, but he was also trying to pass that knowledge on to benefit the players.
I never said that.
I do agree with. I know this isn't about agreeance.
No,
but
I'm not saying your opinion's wrong. I'm not.
No. But I do agree with you as far as being the most well-rounded. But I still am going to stick to my guns about the timeline. I think like baseball was changing. We were getting a lot of young bucks that were coming in that were Mike Schmidt caliber.
Mm-hmm.
Not a lot. Let me say not a lot, because.
So just to put you on perspective, Schmidt played from 72 to 89. He had 5 seasons where he only played single-digit games. So take 5 years off of that and then look at their stats. It's insane.
Yeah.
10 Gold Gloves in 10 years. Take 5 years off of that. So 72 to 80, 72 to, we'll say just a few pure 10 years. Take 5 years off of that, 54. So 12 years. So 10 out of 12 years that he played more than single-digit games, he won a Gold Glove. 10 out of 12 years.
15.
How many years did he play?
Oh, God, total. He signed with 55, or signed in 55. I want to say it was late 70s.
So almost 20 years.
Yeah, but we're talking, like I said, this was a whole nother...
So the ratio is about the same.
It's just, yeah.
About
because he was
0.7
playing...
Gold Gloves per year.
Yeah. yeah. Because toward the end of his career, he was not playing a lot.
Yeah.
No,
That's what I'm saying. The first 2 years of Mike Schmidt's career, he didn't play a lot.
I cannot remember the guy that was coming in, young buck, hot, that replaced him first. He ended up getting injured. I wish I would have written this down because I was banking on being able to remember names, and I should not ever bank on that because I fucking suck. But he started getting kind of not phased out, but there was the younger generation coming in, and there was a third baseman that came in that was hot, and that was when they started pulling Robinson, and he wasn't playing as much.
Okay.
But
we're running out of time. We got to go into our next segment. I just want to piggyback off of this segment, do a quick little favorite baseball team and why.
Washington Nationals, because that's the most games I've ever been to for NFL. NFL.
Whoa!
I am all fucked up. MLB.
we don't
That boy just hit a touchdown.
Gone! Touchdown! No, but yeah, because we when we lived in Virginia, we went to a lot of their games. That was the most MLB experience I've ever had, and that's been it so far. So I'm going with the Nationals.
I bet I can guess your favorite player of all time for the Nats.
Take a guess.
Adam Dunn.
Yeah, he's up there. I was thinking Strasburg though.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Okay.
I liked him as a pitcher.
What's your favorite team? And what?
My family's been Yankees fans my whole life. I mean, I grew up
Nothing wrong with that.
watching Yankees with my dad, just the same as, well, I won't say anything yet, watching another NFL team that we were with.
Yeah, well, yeah.
So I grew up watching a bunch of fucking losers my whole life, basically. No, the Yankees were good, man. We haven't been able to catch. This year's been rough again.
You come off as a Jorge Posada fan to me.
This is a goddamn tarot card reading, and I see another loss in your future. I mean, I wouldn't say he's my favorite. I mean, to be honest with you, off the top of my head, I couldn't tell you a favorite. It's nobody anytime recent. I mean, we'd probably have to go back like 10, 15 years.
Yeah.
But,
Well, Adam Dunn played for
Yeah.
Nationals in like 12,
Mhm.
11. So
yeah.
I know I kind of touched on it. My favorites. Growing up, I grew up a Braves fan. Me and Cody moved up north, and we ended up going to a lot of Nats games. So I ended up kind of transitioning over to be a Nats fan. And then once I moved back down, kind of started pulling for the Braves again until they got good. And then I'm kind of one of those, I always pull for the underdog. I don't like pulling for dynasties for whatever reason. I've never been a front runner. So now that they're winning again, I've kind of lost my pizzazz in Atlanta, and I started pulling for the Cubs here lately. So
Go Cubs.
I wouldn't say I wouldn't say I'm a specific team's fan. I'm more of just a baseball fan in general. I love the classic teams as much as, I don't mind the Yankees. I don't mind the Red Sox.
I was going to say Sox,
I
Braves,
can't
Yankees, Orioles.
stand the Dodgers. That's one that I can't stand. Can't stand the Dodgers. Can't stand the Padres.
Come on, you're a D-backs fan. I know you are.
No, I've never watched it. I've never sat down and watched a Diamondbacks game. Never have.
It's not worth it.
Yeah, they're not televised out here.
Yeah.
Y'all think y'all can guess who my favorite player is?
For who, the Cubs or the...
Let's say Braves.
Oh.
I guarantee y'all won't get it.
Well, then I'm not going to try.
Who is it?
Yeah, Andrew Jones.
Oh,
Oh.
That was my favorite Brave.
Wrong.
That was my favorite Brave.
Everything's going to be wrong. Yeah.
So, all right, Cody, you want to take us into our second
Oh
segment?
yeah, this is a controversial one, I think. So he's he's rookie year.
Completely different sport, by the way.
Yeah.
We're all over the board today.
Haiden Deegan in the 250 Motocross Championship and Supercross Championship. Opinions. What do you think could happen next year? Who's the runner-up?
You know my honest opinion? My honest opinion is he's going to ride too hard. He's going to bail. He's going to get hurt.
Valid. Very valid.
So with what just happened, was it in March at one of the motocross events? There was an incident with 3 people, him being one of them, and one guy got dumped. And they were trying to blame it on Deegan.
Mhm.
Well, a lot of people are speculating that it wasn't actually Deegan. Now, he started it, but it wasn't the reason. It could have been bike malfunction, whatever. I don't know whatever ended up coming of that, but I know there was a lot of backlash because everybody thought Haiden was the reason that he kind of like bumped him and threw him off.
Honestly, I think that was Haiden just being him.
A lot of people...
He's 17 years old. He's cocky.
And he's
very
got some...
cocky.
Let's break it down. He's got some huge... This is the only thing I can really touch on with Haiden Deegan. I can read you stats, but I don't know him at all. I've not followed him. Brian Deegan, on the other hand, I can speak of. And he has huge fucking shoes to fill. And I think the weight of his father's fucking career, he has to be the best.
I'm going to be 100% honest with you. He's the 3rd most popular Deegan.
Haley.
Yeah,
Haley,
he's not as good as this
yeah.
kid.
Haley,
No,
dude,
no,
that
he's
was
not.
I wanted, dude. When he said Haiden Deegan, I was like, bro, I'm looking up, I'm doing my research. I'm like Brian and Haley, and I'm like, fucking God.
Yeah. But for going back to the Hayden situation, he did win motocross championship and he won supercross championship.
See, I saw him in second.
First place for both. Someone who is a runner-up for next year that got hurt and didn't ride half the season, Joe Shimoda.
I don't know who that is.
He's
Isn't he the backup singer for Linkin Park?
Yes.
but
Spike hair back in the day.
yeah. He's a Kawasaki rider, and he broke something. But anyways, ever since he recovered, he's been on Deegan's ass the whole time. Right there. If he would have had the points if he would have started beginning of the year, I think Shimoda would have won it. I think he would have had Hayden beat.
I thought Carmichael won it last year.
You got Jet Lawrence, Hunter Lawrence as well, the Lawrence brothers.
Jet's Lawrence been around forever, though. I feel like he's been like a hot prospect the last 4 years.
Jet he's
But hasn't
young.
had any breakout.
I think you're thinking of Hunter. Jet? Oh, no, Jet's been around for about
Yeah.
Because wasn't he a KTM rider at one point? Or has he been?
I think he's been Honda.
I know he rode Honda a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
But I'm with you. I feel like it's been like hot prospect every year, but it's never been an
And he keeps
actual
getting hurt.
breakout.
Yeah.
Don't he keep getting hurt?
Yeah. And he had an incident where, Hayden, going back to Hayden, he had an incident where something happened with his bike, malfunctioned during a race. I think he blew it up, and he completely threw the bike on the ground. It just wasn't right. You can't act like that, especially when you have all
Through
this.
his
His
age
got to be a
Through
professional.
His age showed.
And he's riding for Star Yamaha. Like, that's the best kind of
You
sponsorship.
can't be out there throwing bullshit tantrums.
No. And
See, the stats I pulled up is that he finished second in the 250 East class at 183 points.
So I know he's won 2 AMA 250 motocrosses, and he's won.
Are you talking about motocross or supercross?
both. He won.
He's won 1 250 super motocross.
the championship, though, right?
Mm.
That was this past year.
Well, that was the 2020. Yeah, the 2023
yeah,
250
because
super
it's a
motocross.
rookie. He's a rookie. This was his rookie year.
Because he's been racing with Yamaha Star since 2022, but this year was his official breakout year because he raced. So he's been racing since 6.
Yeah.
In the 65.
Yeah, he was on YouTube.
Yeah.
Doing stuff in back in 2018.
I remember. Yeah.
Yeah. So he's been around. His name was around. There was already a lot of hype, especially on his YouTube. I'm guilty. I started watching some of his YouTube stuff.
Yeah.
Whenever he got on his dad's bike and then beat his dad's best lap time, and I was like,
Yeah. He can ride. He can ride his ass off. But I think really next season, either he's going to get hurt or Joe Shimoda is going to come out of nowhere.
So let me ask you,
Jet Lawrence.
do you think again?
Yeah, there it is.
Watch out.
How many times are we gonna read that book?
What, in your opinion, do you think that he has it in him to be a dirty rider come next season?
Absolutely.
I see a Marvin Moose cannon. Honestly,
Yes.
I see a Marvin Moose.
So
cannon.
I
100%
see that dirty rider.
Yeah.
He wants to. It was his first year.
He's going to come out hot, thinking he's hot shit because he won.
And then he's gonna run into Tomac, and Tomac's gonna make him look like a jackass.
Well, that's if he goes to 450 class.
Which, if he's smart, he fucking won't.
Yes, he
To
needs
be honest with
he
you.
needs to stay at 250 for a while.
Yeah.
And really learn.
I'm not trying to change your topic, but Tomac's gonna go down as
The best.
second greatest rider,
I don't know, man.
Who's
this
your
could
first? Do you think?
third maybe Carmichael.
Carmichael.
Well,
You can't Carmichael, and then McGriff.
Yeah.
McGrath.
Oh, McGrath.
Yeah.
I'm going to tell you, I'd put Carmichael. I could agree with, but then I'd have to go Tomac.
So I think if Tomac's not top, he's got to be second.
That's why I'm saying.
I mean, Tomac,
James Stewart.
he's been on a ball for years.
there's a hot top 5.
James Stewart,
James Stewart. Dude, I'm sorry, but there was something about just that yellow bike.
Get your juices flowing.
Yeah, when he was on that, dude, I've always been. Anytime I played a Supercross game, I've always liked to see I just like the way they look. I know they're not good bikes necessarily.
No, okay, they are great bikes, but they're stuck in 2008. Suzuki is stuck.
James Stewart.
They are stuck in that time frame to where Kawasaki's, the Hondas, the KTM's, the gas. They are all faster than the Suzuki downright.
I forgot about Gas. Didn't that old boy Garcia?
He won not too long ago on a gas, didn't he?
What's his name? Remember when you were living here at the house? We watched the opening race, and that boy won it on that gas.
Yeah.
I was like,
it's been a little bit, but
Can't remember that one, but that was a couple years ago.
yeah. Because he was riding that bike, and I was like, that's a Honda, but it doesn't have 2 exhausts.
Yeah.
I was like, it's a red bike, but it only has 1 exhaust. Honda's
Yeah.
known for their 2 exhausts.
Now,
You know,
up until a couple of years ago, that's the first time I've ever heard of gas.
Yeah.
Like, it kind of came out of nowhere,
Yeah.
honestly.
you think of,
I think of a red bike on the track, I think instantly Honda.
well, I mean, if you think gas, you think, oh, I'm going to some Joe Schmo and I'm buying a little 4-wheeler or this gas 125 Chinese man.
Yeah.
Coleman mini bike.
Yeah.
See, another one that throws me off too is I've heard that they got good bikes. It's Husqvarna.
Yeah,
I'm still not used to seeing Husqvarnas out on the track.
I think of chainsaws when I think
I
of
know.
Husqvarna.
I'm a blade eaters.
I'm a KTM fan.
The orange, the orange is classic, man.
Well, and their bikes in general.
Yeah.
I mean, and they have the off-CC bikes like 270, 230, some shit like that. Yeah. I can't
The
remember.
trail bike wise.
Yeah. But they have great, well-rounded bikes. KTM
Don't we
is
got that?
amazing.
Isn't Cooper
Webb.
Isn't he a KTM rider?
Yeah, he is. Yeah.
Yeah,
And then you got Aaron Plessinger too.
I don't know who he is, but
He's cowboy. Aaron Plessinger is cowboy. Comes out cowboy hat.
Yeah, I'm a Skins fan.
Hey.
Yeah.
Talk about off-topic. Hey, great.
We still have 7 minutes, brother, on the topic.
So, all right, well, then, in that case,
Okay.
we all are on the same page, and I know this isn't a debate when we all think he's going to be a dirty rider.
Yeah.
Oh, no, he's definitely going to be. That we're all in agreement.
Absolutely.
I see Marvin Muskin.
But, I don't think he's going to be as bad as Muskin, but he is going to do some dirty moves in those turns. Because.
Do you think, being that the Deegan family is held so high in standards when it comes to pretty much anything, Brian Deegan has won a gold.
Metal
he's
Militia.
Well, he's the founder of Metal Militia,
Yeah.
but he is the only person, too, to compete in every X Games competition. He's won rally race, he's won freestyle, he's won motor. I mean, all of it. You name it, he's done it.
I think Haley's going to take that side of it. Be
That's
100%
what I'm
honest with you.
thinking. So, do you think that his dad is going to stand by him if he turns into this dirty rider? Because his father,
Probably, because look at the only thing that Brian Deegan wasn't good at, and that was Supercross.
I disagree with you. I think that Brian's going to want to keep his head straight.
I
be
agree.
a clean rider.
Because Brian is so upheld in the community. He was he broke out.
But he
freestyle.
wasn't then.
Yes, he was, because when he ghost rode across the line to win, that was his breakout deal. And then, of course, the 360 backflip.
Yeah.
He was the first to.
Let me ask you this though: what about Travis Pastrana? Because he was right there with Brian Deegan there for a little bit.
I think this is okay. So I think this is diving way too much into a broad spectrum of
Okay,
shit.
yeah. But that
We're just trying to keep it on the Deegan.
yeah. Okay. All right. Fair enough.
Travis Pastrana, we could do a whole hour-long podcast
Travis
about.
Pastrana is the GOAT of power sports.
Yeah.
I think we are 110% in agreement. There is no better person out there than Travis Pastrana.
There is one, and then Deegan's two,
Yeah.
and it's not close.
Yeah.
And then if you want to get into rally shit like that, Ken Block's got to be up there. Rest in peace, Ken Block. He was one of my.
He was a different.
But that's also we're talking
We're talking on the roads.
Yeah. We're okay.
Yeah,
Going
we're talking
back.
on the roads.
Yeah.
Off the roads,
Oh, it's
it's
Pastrana.
Pastrana land.
Yeah.
Anything with
Pastrana.
dirt is Pastrana land.
Yeah.
But I don't see Brian Deegan really supporting the path it seems like Haiden may go down.
I disagree.
At the
I
end,
disagree.
all right. At the end of the day, Haiden is his own rider. He makes his own decisions.
100%.
But from the way this season has gone and how it ended, I think 100% he's going to do what he has to do to stay on top. Whether
And I think, and this is where I disagree on y'all, where you think that he's going to keep his head straight. I think, like I was saying, Brian Deegan had all the success that everywhere else.
Born and bred to win, do what you got to.
Except in Supercross. He didn't have a whole lot of success in Supercross.
Yeah.
Whereas his son is.
Yeah.
So he's just going to be riding that coattail with him as he's successful through it, and he don't care how he gets there.
Yeah.
That's how I think he's going to do it.
Yeah.
I've never seen Brian Deegan as that kind of a person, though. I mean,
I don't know. I genuinely don't. I don't know Brian Deegan as a person. I don't know.
well, none of us do.
Yeah.
I've seen him in person in Atlanta at the pits. Just didn't get to talk to him, but he's a short little guy.
I've seen him on TV.
No, other than that.
But I'm with you. I think if we're going to talk Deegans and who's going to have a huge break, not even a huge breakout, but whose career is going to go the farthest and succeed.
I'll put it this way. I think Haiden is the more popular of the two.
Oh yeah,
For now,
Haiden and
for
Haley.
now.
For now.
But I think if you really dive into Haley stuff, Haley's going to be more like her dad.
Yeah.
She's more of, she wants to be behind the wheel. She's not afraid to get on a bike, but she'd rather be behind the wheel
And I'm going to sound like the sexist pig, and I don't mean it that way, but when you have as large of a male fan base as a lot of this has, you have a beautiful girl that's out here fucking killing it and smoking
and
these
making
dudes.
these dudes look like,
You're going to get more of a fan base.
Yep.
It's just bound to happen.
especially if Haiden ends up being a dirty rider.
Yeah.
If he ends up being a dirty rider,
He's going to have a lot of hate.
He's already has a lot of hate.
low key, going back to the topic we were talking about, Tomac can be dirty at times.
But
he's
it's
not
not
a dirty rider. He's not known to be a dirty
classify
rider.
It's not like Mooskin where every single turn where you can cut someone
I've
off.
seen him do it to Tomac 4 times.
Exactly.
I can name 4 races right off the top of my head where Tomac had the lead going into the final lap and rams him in the side.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
Damn near T-bones him.
it'd be madder than hell. Throw my phone across the room.
Yeah.
I'm going to go to one of these events and beat his ass.
And then a couple of years ago, he had that bad crash and got hurt and was out for the year. I was like, fuck
Yeah.
dick, what
You
you
know,
get?
but going
Carter's
back
a bitch.
Yeah.
on the 450 side, Ken Roxon, he went solo and was riding the freaking 2006 Suzuki.
I tell you what, 2 years ago,
Kickstart Kenny. I mean,
dude, 2 years ago, Roxon was the best rider.
on that Honda, he was fast.
And Tomac couldn't keep up.
No.
Tomac was still on Kawasaki at that point, still dominating.
Yeah.
And then Roxon came out of nowhere and he dominated that year. It wasn't even close.
Yeah.
Like it was, every time I pull up stats, it was Roxon got another win.
And then
Or
he
came in
got hurt.
second.
Yeah.
He podiumed, I think, every race that year.
Yeah.
Other than 2.
Yeah.
I think he
I
came
was
in
going to say it was damn
twice.
So, if y'all couldn't tell, we like motocross too.
Yeah.
Never talked about it before, but now you get a little sneak peek into our.
Yeah. I'm a big fan of motocross.
I am too. I didn't get into it. So we had a cousin growing up who was huge into it, and I never really got into it. Cody got into it more than I did, and then when Cody got into it and he moved into the house, he started showing me some stuff, and then I gradually started getting into it, and now we talk about it every once in a while. I know enough about it to talk about it.
Yeah.
I remember watching I don't know if they were VHS tapes at the time, but when Metal Militia and everything first started coming out, when Travis
Freestyle.
Yeah, on the PS2, baby.
Yes. So, and when Travis Pastrana was a little kid and he came out and was performing, I remember watching a bunch of old school videos of, just a bunch of fucking dirty-headed, nappy-headed white dudes just out there.
With 3 shirts 3 sizes too big, just flapping as they're whipping.
And just, and that's, I was like, yeah.
Or no shirts and just wearing underwear.
Put it this way: in the motocross world, what sounds better? 454 stroke, 250 2-stroke, or a 125 2-stroke? I'll put mine out there. I'm a 2-stroke guy.
Dude,
I love the Mosquito.
Yeah,
I love it.
2-stroke all the way.
Yeah,
a 125 2-stroke.
Yes.
There's just something about it.
I like the 250 2-stroke.
Yeah.
If you want to talk 2-stroke, 500.
500.
we talked about this.
Ding, ding, ding.
You want to talk about? Wasn't there one a Mako or something that it wasn't the Honda, but it was I think it's called a Mako 500, but it's a Mako. No, I think it might be a 700. I might be.
No, there's a Raptor 700. That's a 4-wheeler.
No, I'm not.
Yeah, I remember those on ATV Unleashed 2 that came free with the PS2.
Yeah.
Well, they just come back out with the Enduro, and it is this is the 2023, but there was a 2-stroke version.
Hey, guess what? No one cares.
Which right now, all right, so right now the fastest two-stroke is the KTM 495 two-stroke. But there's a 2023 Mako 700cc Enduro that's pushing 85 horsepower.
700?
85 horsepower.
You ain't catching me dead on nothing.
Well, the KTM tops out right now, the world's fastest dirt bike, KTM 495, rocket ship two-strokes, 125 mile an hour.
Holy crap.
Shitting and getting, baby.
Hey.
You're floating.
Yeah, they're.
But I will say, if somebody, here it is.
How much is it?
The Mako 760.
We got a GoFundMe for Kevin's funeral.
I'll get on one if you pay for it.
Yeah.
So
last thing before we go on to the next topic. Keeping it in the motocross world.
okay.
Best motocross video game. I know all three of us played motocross video games.
Oh, God.
Oh, dude, MX versus ATV Unleashed.
Thank you! Best soundtrack, best game.
I mean,
Dude, just because this is really what started it for dirt bikes.
I'm glad we're on the same page.
I'm hoping it's the game I think it is because it's my number 2.
Freestyle, dude.
Oh, okay, no, it wasn't mine. Number 2 is not Freestyle. I forget.
What were you going to say for number 2?
Reflex.
Reflex.
Yes.
Yes. Reflex.
Yes.
That's my number 2. But number 1, just because we
grinded so much Freestyle growing up.
Freestyle's my number 1.
Freestyle's 3 for me. I'll put it up there.
Yeah.
I could get behind that. But so for MX versus ATV Unleashed on the motocross side of things is like Need for Speed Underground.
Yeah.
It's a fucking
If you didn't race a 125 versus that fucking monster truck over them hills,
Yeah.
bump into headstrong, I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah.
I don't know what.
Paralyzer by Finger 11.
Yeah.
Jam.
I didn't even know. Little 8-year-old Tyler's just sitting there like,
Dude, I'm purposely driving to the edge of the map to get slingshot.
Yeah.
It's like, dude, it's so, yeah. What classics, man.
Oh,
Great.
nice.
What a great segment. What a good pick.
yeah, good, great idea.
Yeah.
Great idea. Great idea. All right. Jumping into our third topic here, guys. This is, we're changing sports again, completely different. All three of us, for the most part, are relatively fans of this same team, so we're going to have very strong opinions about this. Could be different, could be all the same. So we're hoping to give you a little bit more debate, but we don't know. It all depends.
With us all being fans of this team, I feel like we're all going to be on the same page. As far
well, the only one that I'm worried about is him, because Cody floats.
He's the outlier.
Cody's a floater. See, he is a fan at heart, but he will jump bandwagon quick.
Well, it's not necessarily this team that we all like. It will always be my favorite team.
I mean, they've seen the jerseys.
If someone just like comes out of nowhere and they're doing great, yeah, I'm gonna root for them. Like if there's a special duo, like there used to be a few years ago, like yeah, that's like, come on. I mean,
You're talking about Alfred Morris and RG3, right?
Yes.
Okay. Fair.
But you know, Aaron Rodgers with the Packers.
I thought you were about to say. As soon as you said Aaron Rodgers, I immediately felt this pool of diarrhea form in my stomach.
What he was in Green Bay.
Fuck.
Okay, so here we go. So who wants to go first before I ask the question? Who wants to talk first?
I think me and
It's
you
your
have,
segment. You go first.
No, I'm asking the question. I want y'all to talk first.
So I
first.
want him to go first because I think me and you were going to be kind of on the same wavelength. I don't have stats like you do, but I have an opinion.
Yeah.
Well,
Okay, so third topic here is, does Washington need the football team, Commanders, Redskins, whatever you want to say? I'm a Skins fan at heart. I know people, it's kind of it's kind of iffy subject, so I'll just refer to it as the Skins.
We got jerseys in here.
Yep.
Right.
Or the Hogs.
Everywhere.
I'll refer to them by what they should have been renamed, the Hogs, because, we'll get into that. Josh Harris,
to trim it fucking fat.
Fix it. Does Washington need to tank?
Does Washington need to tank this year? Okay.
I'm gonna say yes.
Okay. So I know you didn't really get a chance to do a whole lot of research. You know that the best prospect in
are you about to call out USC?
the best quarterback prospect since Peyton Manning is in the draft this year?
Yeah.
God damn it. I'm excited.
Let me ask, who is it?
His name's Caleb Williams.
Come out of USC.
Plays for USC.
USC. Okay. All right.
Cody doesn't follow college football, so don't judge him.
Because Washington beat the bank. Yeah,
Coach Prime.
I asked him who the hell is Coach Prime, because I had no idea.
I'm going to edit that out.
Yeah. It's either that or you're going to have to leave.
Yeah, okay, that's fair.
So
Does
does Washington need to tank?
I think so. I think they just need to go back to the books and rebuild. I mean, they've been needing to do this for
I thought you were saying back to the roots as a coach.
Please.
They ain't won since we've been alive.
Yeah. In 38, when they founded.
Yeah. No,
leather helmets.
They need to go to the books and really try and get, in my opinion, I think they need an offensive line better. That's been their struggle. I mean, we had RG3, and...
No, I disagree with you wholeheartedly. I think... All right, does our offensive line need work? Yes, but our defensive line is a wet fucking bag. It is a wet paper bag. Did you watch the fucking game that just happened? Dude, I had so much hope that we were going to pull this shit off going into OT, but we could not stop them from walking down the fucking field. Yeah. Our defensive
line... That was
line
the Eagles, right? The Eagles game last weekend?
Go ahead.
What? No, tell me. Like, you're talking about the Eagles game in overtime.
No. They play Chicago on Thursday.
Oh, I see. I didn't.
We got waxed.
Well,
by the Bears.
okay. No, I was. You're right. We got waxed by the Bears, and that was embarrassing. I wasn't going to touch on that yet.
I'm not worried about the Philly loss because if we lose to Philly, okay.
But that's what I was so upset about because we tied. Like we were tied. We scored, and I was like, "Fuck it, we got a chance. We're going to OT."
Yeah.
But go ahead because I'm going to fucking rant.
But honestly, I think it's always been kind of our problem is our offensive line. They, in my opinion, that's my opinion.
You're not wrong. I don't think we've had since we let. I'm piggybacking off of you. I'm helping you out.
Yeah.
Since we got rid of Trent Williams. Sorry.
Yeah.
Remember Trent Williams?
Yeah.
And Brandon Sheriff.
Yeah.
It's been bad.
I don't disagree with that. I agree. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
We've had decent quarterbacks. Not great.
Okay, no,
I did not say great.
You're not wrong.
Kirk Cousins.
RG3 Rookie of the Year.
Okay, but
re-sparked a fan base.
Yeah.
And let's be honest.
Yeah.
If it wasn't for Mike Shanahan putting that boy in that playoff game, we would still have him. See, you're thinking of RG3 that played for the Ravens, played for the Browns.
No.
Post-injury, he was not good.
No. I'm still with you.
When he was healthy,
yeah,
before he got hurt, he was better than Andrew Luck. And that's saying something. He beat Andrew Luck for Rookie of the Year. No, he didn't. He was the NFC Rookie of the Year.
Yeah.
Andrew Luck won the AFC Rookie of the Year.
But we're also talking RG3 in his prime, and then when Kirk Cousins played with us before he dipped to the Vikings. So, you're talking two totally different.
That we took in the same draft.
Let's hear your opinion on it.
Are you done?
I just think they just need to go. They need to go back to basics, rethink everything, and
coaching staff included.
That's hard.
I'm not trying to make this sound bad. Do you know who our head coach is? Ron Rivera.
Yes. He seems like he's doing decent overall. I don't know him that well to answer.
We'll come back to you.
Yeah.
We'll come back to you because I'm sure me and Kev have stats.
Yeah.
So you can listen to some of our stats and then bring an opinion based off of that.
Yeah.
I've got stats.
You have stats, but you're going to have stats to justify what I have to say. But I'm going to go in a complete different direction at the end of this.
So do you agree with Cody's point or no?
As far as needing to gut the whole team?
Yeah.
No.
Okay.
No, not by a long shot. So does Washington need to tank this year so we can take that USC prospect? 110%. But they will never fucking do it. Ron Rivera and Martin Mayhew will never fucking do it. Martin Humphrey, the VP for the players, they will never fucking do it just because the Josh group just came in and bought. And the odds that they would turn around and do that with a brand new ownership is just astronomical. The odds are astronomical. I'm telling you, they are going to make a push this season. If they end up tanking, it would blow my mind. But the odds, and the new leadership group is not going to want them to tank first year as new ownership. We're not off to a horrible start in the season. I do think we need to replace Sam Howell. Sam Howell isn't terrible. He made some good plays playing against the Phillies, but he also had a lot of fucking help.
Philadelphia, the Eagles.
Yeah, I
got you. I follow. I just wanted to.
I'm getting excited. So the Eagles game was a perfect example of, he made some good plays. He also had some good help. I think our defensive line needs a lot of work because we cannot hold. Now, granted, we were playing the Eagles when I was really trashing on their defensive line. But like you said, we lost to the fucking Bears. Do I think we need to tank and take a higher pick in the drafts? 110%. But the probability of the ownership and Ron Rivera, Martin, all of them actually coming to that decision, it will never fucking happen. I agree that it needs to be done. I agree that there's a lot of changes that need to be done. I think if anything needs to change, and this is personal opinion, I think I wouldn't gut the whole team, but if this continued next year, I would start looking at redoing our defensive coordinator, just because our defense, like I said, I feel like if we could get our defense together a little bit better, our offense might not be that great, but you're only as good as your defense. Mm-hmm. At the end of the day, if you can't hold back somebody from storming down the field,
I'll put it this way. That's an old school way of thinking.
But do you disagree though?
Yes and no.
How so? All right, so which part do you disagree with?
I'm kind of in the middle between both of you because, yes, you need to have a pretty good defense, but who are the two best teams of football right now?
The Chiefs and the Eagles.
No. It's the Chiefs and the Dolphins.
Yeah.
Why? Because of their offense.
But
it has
also
nothing to do with their defense.
Well, that's because their offense is walking through everyone else's defense,
right.
And I get that.
But
we'll never get that the way. So
nobody thought the Dolphins would.
We need to get. We need we need a whole new offensive line, and the fact that we would get that instead of just tightening up our defense.
So let me kind of piggyback. Let me say why I say it.
Yeah, go ahead.
Because I'm kind of on the fence. I kind of agree with you that we do need to tank, but I'm also kind of like we don't necessarily. I wouldn't necessarily say we need to tank. It's more or less. I disagree with you. Ron Rivera's got to go.
I don't disagree with that.
Ron Rivera's got to go, and I also disagree with you on the fact that you don't think Josh Harris is willing to tank. When Josh Harris got to Philly, they tanked to get Joel Embiid. Philly was trash when Josh Harris took over, and he tanked for 3 years to build that team. So he was not opposed to doing it.
I don't see it happening this year.
Here's the wild card in it, is I don't think Magic Johnson will. Because Magic Johnson is part of that ownership group. I don't think Magic Johnson's going to want to tank. But if you look at our offense as a whole, there's promise in Howell. He's showing some rookie mistakes. It's going to happen. He's got the arm strength. He's got a good throwing motion. I don't think Howell's the problem, Sam Howell. I agree with Cody. Our offensive line is garbage. Hot garbage. I think we have more potential in our defensive line than we do in our offensive line. So I think we need to focus on our offensive line first. Be 100% honest with you. They're terrible.
Well, that's why I said tighten up our defense. Now, I'm not disagreeing that our offense is – I'm not saying we have a good offense. I don't think we do. But I don't think that tanking to try to rebuild the offense right off the rip is going to be what they're going to do.
And my thinking is, what has Washington always done? They've always tried to boost their defense, and what do we always end up doing? Second or third. We never – the reason I'm saying we need to tank this year, on our best day, we're not better than Philly.
No. Okay, so let me ask you this then real quick. So if you think tanking is the best and you bring up the USC prospect, but you say that Sam Howell has a lot of potential and it's not necessarily him, then why? Because to me it seems like you think we need to tank to pull a QB.
Not necessarily. I just said we need to tank. If we get a high draft pick, we need to trade that high draft pick to somebody who does want Caleb Williams, because I don't think he's going to be all that great. Hot topic. Hot take.
I don't.
I think the best college football quarterback that can come out in the next couple of years is Shedeur Sanders. To be 100% honest with you.
I don't disagree with that.
That boy out of Colorado, Coach Prime's son.
Yeah.
Who's Deion Sanders.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like I said, I don't.
The reason why I'm saying we need to get rid of Ron Rivera is because Ron Rivera was not part. They just took over ownership this year.
Mm-hmm.
Ron Rivera is part of the old regime.
I agree.
You know who's not part of that old regime? Eric Bieniemy.
Yeah.
Who has had so many head coaches.
Coach Prime.
Eric Bieniemy is our offensive coordinator. He's been with Andy Reid. The two coordinators for Philadelphia last year that were in the Super Bowl both got head coaching jobs this past year. Eric Bieniemy had 5 interviews, didn't get a head coaching job because he was under Ed Reed. Andy Reid gets all of the praise for that offense, which he should. It is his offense. But look at just how much of a flip-flop Eric Bieniemy's done to our offense. Last year, we couldn't move the ball last year.
That's why I said, I mean, we looked good offensively playing Philadelphia. I mean,
Ron Rivera, since he had his 15-1 Carolina Panthers with Cam Newton and went to the Super Bowl, is 11 games below 500 as a head coach.
So what are we right now? We're
2-3.
We are 2-3.
We won 2-3. We won the first 2 games of the year.
Yes.
We beat Arizona 20-16.
Yes, and then we lost.
We beat Denver 35-33. We lost to Buffalo 37-3.
Yeah, and then
waxed. Then we lost to Philly
37-35.
34-31.
Was it 34-31?
Yep.
I thought we went into OT at 35.
No. Chicago, we got waxed. Absolutely waxed.
Yeah.
I put 40-0 because I'm not counting that last little score that we got right there.
It doesn't count. Okay, so
it was actually 40-20, but let me tell
okay,
you.
so how about
put it this way? Total offense. Where would you think that we are at?
I couldn't tell you, to be honest with you. I'm not even going to take a guess because I'm sure I'm way off.
Almost dead middle of the pack, 17th.
Okay.
In total offense. Passing yards, 6th in the league at 269 yards per game.
We're also in the worst league, though.
That's just league.
I'm sorry. I was talking about. No,
you're talking about the NFC East.
Yeah. You're talking entire league. Okay.
We're 6th in the entire league. We're 17th we're right in the middle of the pack in our offense. Rushing yards, 24th.
That's fucking garbage.
91 yards per game. Not even trying to run the ball. You know why? Because we can't get a lead. You can't run the ball if you're behind by 2 touchdowns, which is why I say I don't necessarily disagree, because our defense is so bad.
You can't run the ball if you don't have an offensive line to make a hole for the running back.
Well, and you also can't run the ball when you need to get down the field because your defensive line is letting them walk through and score. So
Chase Young has been a bust. Can't stay healthy.
Yeah.
Need to trade him. I like Jonathan Allen, but I don't think he's going to be worth the money that he wants. So I think Jonathan Allen's got to go. The only person I'll say on that defense that is a must-stay who has popped this year is Montez Sweat.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Montez Sweat has broke out this year.
Yeah.
And he's still young. Keep him.
So
everybody else.
The shit that I'm sorry, go ahead. I'm sorry.
The shit that bothers me, why did we let Cole Holcomb go last year?
I could not fucking tell you. I didn't mean to slam my hand.
No. Cole Holcomb not only is a very good coverage linebacker, but he was huge in the run game as well. He's not. I wouldn't even say he's a very underrated middle linebacker. I think he is in Miami. I think. Don't hold me to it. I just know he's not.
I couldn't tell you, to be honest with you. I didn't keep track after.
We let him go this past year, and that was an absolute mistake, in my opinion. Absolute mistake. They shouldn't have let him go. And I just don't want to keep going on this big carousel where, okay, we know we need to bump up our defense, so we're going to overpay a defensive player that as soon as they get to Washington, not going to do anything. And I can go all the way back to Deion Sanders when he came to Washington the first time. Overpaid for him. Just wasn't quite prime time anymore.
Yeah.
Then you got your Albert Hainsworth. Worst contract in history. Signed a huge-ass contract, played 3 games.
Yeah.
Then you got, okay, we got a good team, got a pretty good offense. We need to boost up. Josh Norman, all pro for Carolina.
Can I throw in my own opinion about the league overall and with the payday situation? If you, all right, let's say you draft a kid, rookie, or anybody, it could be rookie, played in the league for 10 years. I think if they were to change it where instead of they get a payday when they sign, they wait to the end of the year to give them their payday. You play good for me, I will pay you.
Almost like a point system, like fantasy, get
Yeah.
paid on that. But you're going to have people that aren't going to play because they're not going to.
They're not getting paid.
Well, then they don't deserve to play. If they want to play football, they should have to go out and play football and then get the payday at the end of the season. Still have a weekly pay.
I get what you're saying, but you got to look at it from an owner's perspective.
You can't.
If you don't have
if you're not
superstars
paying.
on the field, you don't have people coming to watch the game.
Yeah, that's a good point.
And if you don't have anybody watching the game,
you don't
have anybody.
Yeah. Right. That's just my own. Like,
I don't disagree.
I
feel
think
like
they're overpaid and they act like divas a lot of the time.
Yes.
I think there's.
I'm so sick of seeing Taylor Swift.
Dude,
Oh my God.
hey, you know the Kelsey Swift fucking duo that I want to see is on my goddamn team. Fucking Travis Kelsey's brother and then Swift from the Eagles.
Yeah.
That's the Kelsey Swift combo everybody needs to be talking about.
Oh, Philly.
Yeah,
Not
yeah.
Kansas City, but one in Philly.
Dude, they're good. I will tell you. And this is the shit that pisses me off so goddamn bad. We play like shit again. I cannot stress the Bears.
We beat the Cardinals. We look good against Denver. Get their asses handed to us by Buffalo. Stay in a game against Philly.
Bro, went into OT with Philly. Did not look
And
bad.
then get waxed by.
Where is the fucking
Bears.
consistency? And this is why
By the Bears.
By the Bears.
By the Bears.
I agree with you 110%. I think Ron Rivera needs to go. I think he's getting a little long in the tooth in the game with the Skins.
Mm-hmm.
Let's be honest. So with that being said, I think you might have already mentioned it. If you did reiterate it to me, because we've gone on over a lot of shit. Who do you think would be head coach material right now for the Redskins? If we were
Eric Bieniemy.
Okay, you did say that. You're right.
Eric Bieniemy.
You're right. Okay.
What I'm hoping happens, honestly, and this sounds really bad for Eric Bieniemy, but maybe Ron gets fired and the league sees that, Eric Bieniemy is a good play caller, really good at what he does. Maybe he does deserve a head coaching job, and maybe he gets a job, maybe he gets the Giants job because that job's going to be up for grabs.
Oh, dude, the Giants.
At least we're not the Giants.
Fucking
Wesley.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My father-in-law, my brother-in-law, they're all Giants
At
fans.
least we're not the Giants.
Yeah.
Needless to say, I'm starting the Dolphins defense against the Giants this week.
Oh, dude.
Yeah.
You'd be done.
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah. This is the week that they're going to
You need to.
This is the week where Daniel Jones is going to throw for 5 touchdowns. We're about to get into that. We're about to get into that.
12:30. I think it's actually.
Yeah, I think.
We got one more topic. I just want to hit on this. What I'm really hoping happens, I don't think this is going to happen, but here's my hope. Magic Johnson loves his star power. Josh Harris likes his star power. They keep Rivera for one more year. Let him play bad. Continue the tank. Shedeur Sanders, number 1 pick. Deion comes with him, head coach of the Commanders.
Get the fuck out. I don't think it'll happen. I think Deion's too. I think
Deion played for Washington.
but I think he likes where he's at. Okay, come back to
Does he
the.
like Magic Johnson?
That's fair. And does he like that fucking money? To be honest with you, I don't
Coach
think it's
his
about.
son in the NFL?
That's going to be it. I don't think it would be a money standpoint for him, just because.
Because I don't think Shiloh's good enough to get drafted.
Nah.
His oldest son, or not his oldest, his middle son that plays on there. He's a cornerback.
No, because his
Shiloh
oldest son
Sanders.
is the cameraman.
Yeah. I I don't think Shiloh's old enough. If he is drafted, he's going to be a late round pick. But we get Shedeur, we get Dion, and then we get he's probably going to bring Shiloh with him to bolster up that defense.
It's a possibility.
Hey, that's a hell of a
party in the Capitol, baby.
Hey, log it right now. Timestamp whatever time you're watching this, and go back and check. Because if this motherfucker's right, that's a hell of a call.
Tyler said it first.
I would love to see it. Love to see it. Do I think it'll happen? No.
Realistically, I don't. I'm just. This is my biased fan opinion.
If it could be a perfect fit,
it only makes sense.
I
we
agree.
tank. Get rid of Rivera. Got a head coaching job. Hey, we'll take Shedeur. If you sign as our head coach, we'll take Shedeur number 1.
Yeah, start quarterback.
Okay. So
I don't think that would be. Yeah.
Going back to your question, overall.
Have you changed your mind or
No?
I think they should tank.
I think they should tank as well.
I do think they should tank.
Yeah.
I'm just worried that they might not.
Yeah.
I agree with that. I feel like they have enough pride in their team, which makes me a fan of them because I want them to play hard, but in the same breath, I'm so tired of losing.
Yeah.
That's like, did you see? I cannot remember his name, but it was old boy from
At least if we start to tank, it's like, okay, I know we're losing,
We're doing
but
no
it's
harvest.
going to get.
Yeah.
There's going to be some light at the end of the tunnel. Right now, it's like, okay, we're middle of the pack. We're just good enough to beat bad teams, but we're just bad enough to keep getting waxed by good teams and bad teams, apparently.
Yeah.
That we're middle of the pack. We don't win the division. We don't get in the playoffs, and then we have a middle draft pick. It's like,
And we're fucked.
yeah, we can't. I mean, we're in limbo.
So I agree in the sense that even though there's a lot of disagreement throughout this on the way that we think it's going to go, I do think we need to tank. I just don't think they're going to do it.
Yeah.
And that's my biggest worry is I don't think they're going to do it. But
All right,
any closing arguments? Anybody want to fist fight about it?
last topic.
This is a fun one.
This is going to be beat up on Tyler.
Yeah, absolutely.
This is going to be a beat up on Tyler.
Do you mind?
Do I mind what?
Do you mind if I speak? Okay.
Fantasy football.
If y'all go back and watch the fantasy league drafts where we all sat down, we were hanging out, I think we were drinking a beer, just BSing, doing our draft picks on the TV, we were going over everything. Tyler brought up a couple of times that he has waxed us every year.
I think it's been 2 years. He
Yeah,
said?
back to back.
Back to back.
Back to back.
Yeah.
With late picks. Well, Tyler,
I'll put it this way.
How's your season?
how you
going?
doing?
I'll put it this way. When anybody in our league plays against the Hurts so good, they have career days. The teams that I'm playing against, now granted, this is going to sound like a lot of points compared to other fantasy leagues, but it's because we have extra players on our leagues. We have a full, it's like 13-player lineup that we start every week.
We play a specific way.
225 points. Usually this team score about 180 a week on average in our league. About 180 points a week. The teams are averaging 225 against me in the first 4 weeks of the year. It is so bad. So I got a couple of stats I'm going to pull up right quick, and then I'm going to let them talk because I deserve it. I talked a lot of shit during that. I did. So I'm going to take my medicine. I deserved it. My points for
Are you comparing ours?
is dead last. No, I'll get to that.
Okay.
My points gained as a team is dead last in the league and is dead last by 30 points. 617 points is all the points I've gained throughout the year. Points against, 837. We've only played 5 weeks. 837 points allowed. I'm on a 2-game losing streak. I still have a 51% chance of making the playoffs. Let's switch it over to the best team, which would actually be Matt Foley's Van by the Rivers. Best team in the league going into week 5. Points for, 805. Points against, 627. Let me rephrase that. My points for were 617. Kev's points against are 627. My points against are 837. His points for are 805.
So now I understand what you meant by.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because I'm looking. So NFL Week 4, me and you played. I topped at 225.8. You topped at 127.05. And I don't want to say I'm giving you the benefit of the doubt. I don't want to make excuses for you. You've been getting fucked, man. There's no, I caught a lucky break last, so, dude, Lamar Jackson, I've been waiting. I knew with him losing one of his running backs, I knew he'd have to start moving the ball around a little more. Lamar Jackson put up like 35 or 36 points for me. I was like, there we go, baby.
You have a running back in the pot for you?
I don't have one on my team, but yes, yeah.
But you're gonna have a close game.
For my team when I play.
Yeah, I'll pull it up. Hang on.
I was gonna say because
y'all keep talking. I'll pull it
up. But overall, Tyler, you have a pretty good chance against Phil. Pickle pig feet.
So every week that I've played somebody's going off for somebody. For Kevin last week, Stephon Diggs, 6 catches, 120 yards, 3 touchdowns, 38 points. Josh Jacobs, 58 yards rushing and a touchdown. He must have had some receiving, 28 points. Chris Godwin, 19 points out of his flex. Yeah. So, let's go back.
all the rest are pretty average numbers.
Let's go back to week 3. Who did I play? Cody. Okay, before I go too far, Kevin beat me last week, 225 to 127. Almost a 100-point difference. 2 weeks ago, Cody dropped 242, and I only scored 161. I told you our average is about 180, so 161 is respectable. 240.
It's just disrespectful.
Keenan Allen,
Yeah.
18 catches, 215 yards, and a passing touchdown. 52 points. And Ayuk didn't even play that week.
You got a third of his points from one player. That is
And Cody didn't even set his lineup.
no, he didn't.
Ayuk didn't play.
No.
0 points out of one of his starting wide receivers. Oh, not to mention Devontae Adams had 13 catches for 172 yards and 2 touchdowns, 42 points. Same week.
There's about 100 there.
Yeah.
My only win of the year came against Lee.
The Aaron Rodgers.
And I beat him by 2 points. 2 points. So Lee didn't have a career day against me. But week 1, Chuck sure as shit did. 200 points. 158 points that I scored. But guess who went off for him? Dallas's defense. 53 points in that week 1 shellacking against the Giants. So, yes. If you play against me,
Have a record game.
somebody's having a career day.
So back to the draft picks. I'm still feeling great.
Early on, he's got the best team, but Pops has got the hottest team.
Oh,
he's
without
on a 3-game win streak.
Yeah.
He lost week 1, and he's won 3 in a row.
Yeah.
I've lost 1, but I'm on a 2-game streak.
I'm going to be honest with you. I think it's going to come down. The top 4 are going to be these 2 here, Chuck and Bob.
Yeah.
The
I
big
don't know.
dogs and the rope wranglers.
You could still have a breakout game if your team got their shit together. Or you need other people because dude.
Well, you would think. I wish I could predict the future because guess who I have sitting on my bench right now? DJ Moore, who went off against Washington last week or Thursday.
Never would have called that shit. Dude, I would have loved to seen the betting odds on that game. Whoever bet against fucking Washington, they made some cash. DraftKings is
It
loving it.
absolutely hurts my feelings.
That's a slap in the fucking dick, bro. I mean, the Bears. No offense to Bears fans, but come on. Like, y'all knew going into that you were going to lose. I'm sure, man.
Now, I know it's still early, but I want to hear predictions of Toilet Bowl.
Who we think's going to win?
Yeah.
You know, my honest opinion.
Yep.
I think it's going to come down to these 2.
I think the same, but I think your dad's kind of snuck in the back.
I was going to say, I honestly think it's going to be
your dad
you.
snuck in and fucked me last year.
I think it's going to be Band by the Rivers and Dad's team.
I don't know,
Because there's three teams that are 3-1.
I can't say Dad's team's name because it's kind of dark. So.
Yeah. So the Band by the Rivers, the Honkies, and the Rope Wranglers.
Honestly, I think it's going to come down to Kevin and Dad. My opinion.
Kev's got the best point differential. I've got the worst. Shocker. I'm worse than Lee.
No offense, Lee.
So we were, as you know, in the last podcast with the fantasy draft, Lee was banking on Aaron Rodgers. He said he wasn't going to do it.
3 years in a row.
3 years in a row. He said he wasn't going to do it. What does he do? He sneaks in and gets Aaron Rodgers.
All right, so hey, we're taking bets right now. Do we think he pulls the trigger on it next year?
Absolutely.
Yeah, I think so.
You got to keep giving him a chance, man. It's Aaron Rodgers.
Lee has got the Aaron Rodgers curse. Yeah. It's just hit him hard. He's never had a good team. He's had a decent team.
Aaron Rodgers is like herpes. You just can't get rid of him.
So last thing I'll hit, we're about to head out to the course, filming day for the boys. Cody's officially part of Back and Bogies. First video with Cody on the channel, just because he's been busy on our first day of filming. So we're about to go hit the course and get some filming. So hope y'all are liking the season 2 content. We're loving the shot tracer. Oh, it's looking gorgeous.
Hey,
it's gonna be fun.
And what a hell of a debate today, fellas.
Yes.
Loving the new podcast setup. I'm loving the new ideas. Tyler kind of was like, hey, you can come up with some ideas. We all sat down, come up with some shit. I'm liking the dynamic. Loving the dynamic.
We're hitting several different topics.
I cannot wait to do more of these.
I feel like during football season, our last topic every week needs to be a fantasy football update.
Oh, without a doubt. Without a doubt.
Last one thing for... Never mind.
Go ahead.
Super Bowl odds.
No, dude. It's the Skins.
It's the Skins.
Well, now it's the Bears.
No, Kansas City, I think, is for sure.
I do.
No? You don't think so?
I don't think Kansas City's going all the way.
No, I think the Dolphins. I think it's the Dolphins.
I think so.
Okay.
I think it's going to be. See, the NFC is not as loaded as the AFC.
No.
It might be Eagles Dolphins. And if it's Eagles Dolphins, I'm taking Eagles.
Dolphins.
I think if it's Eagles Dolphins, I'm taking Dolphins.
I was thinking Eagles Dolphins.
Yeah.
I don't want to see Jalen Hurts win another. I love him, but no.
Yeah.
I want the Dolphins just because. When's the last time the Dolphins won the Super Bowl?
It's been a while.
Exactly.
It's been a while.
I'd love to see it. The underdog, man.
Yeah.
Dolphins have been so low tier.
Their offense is just if everybody stays healthy, that offense is ridiculous.
It's nasty.
So sign us out. It's your podcast.
Hey.
Sign us out.
Thank you guys for tuning in. Anywhere you can find your podcast, it's No BackTalk and Back and Bogies podcast. If you're already here, obviously you know that. I don't know why I'm fucking telling you. But make sure to go check out Back and Bogies, our YouTube channel. We've got a lot of good content coming up. A lot of good holiday specials we're going to be pumping out here soon.
Halloween special coming up.
Halloween, and I am still so stoked for Christmas. So we've got some great content coming out for you guys coming up. Make sure to tune in to TikTok. Pretty much all social media. I'm trying to get better on top of some of the social media. He does all the editing. I'm trying to get on top of the social media. So we're trying to get a good even ground, like middle ground. I'm trying to be better about that. Bear with me. By the time this comes out, I should have my shit together. The Facebook group.
Bogey Nation.
Bogey Nation. I forget it every time. Make sure to go and drop a follow on Bogey Nation. We're dropping a lot of the exclusive content. I don't want to necessarily call it exclusive, but you're going to get early
It's a lot
access.
of shot tracers. It's a lot of raw
Extra
clips.
content.
A lot of raw clips from our footage.
Yeah.
Are getting put up there, just of shot tracers and
Yeah.
some good shots, some not so good shots.
So we're digging it. We're pumped coming into the season. Thank you guys for all the support and the love.
Our views are up. Our subscribers are up. We're loving it. So
Yeah.
A lot of momentum in season 2. We're pumping season 2 out heavy, and I know I'm having a blast doing it.
I'm loving it.
I know
Absolutely
Cody hadn't been
loving
on the course yet with us, but it's gonna be fun, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good one.
So thank you guys for everything. Thank you for all the love. Make sure to go and drop a subscribe and hit that little bell for notifications on the YouTube channel. Because like I said, we got some good content coming out. But we love you guys. Thank you guys for everything that y'all do. Thank you for the support, the views, the likes, all of it. We'll catch you out on the course.
Season 2, episode 1, baby.
Woo! Later.